Hello everyone, this is Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host, with another episode of a series that we call America's Greatest Personalities. Every week, we give you a different great personality from the arenas of show business, Broadway, Hollywood, politics, history, you name it, we've got it. And today, as far as entertainment goes, I don't know about you, but he happens to be one of my favorites. If I haven't introduced myself before, and you are seeing me for the first time, I am Robert Landau, a national motivational speaker, and I am the host and creator of Live Life Well TV. Thank you for joining me today. So, what I'm going to do, if you haven't seen this series before, is give you some of the fine points concerning the great Victor Borge's life story. And I'm going to show you two amazing clips of this wonderful artist and comedian in action. Because really, you can talk all you want about the great Victor Borge, but you also really need to see this man in action, right? And you're going to be doing just that, not once, but twice while we're together. So, let's start off the proceedings here with some things that Victor Borge was famous for saying. The first one goes like this. He once said, "Laughter is the shortest distance between two people." I love that. Victor Borge also once said, "I normally don't do requests unless, of course, I have been asked to do so." Mr. Borge also once said, "I really only know two pieces. One is Clair de Lune, the other isn't." Victor also said, "I used to think I was indecisive, but now I'm not so sure." The great Victor Borge also said, "If I have caused just one person to wipe away a tear of laughter, that is my reward." And lastly, but certainly not least, Victor Borge once said, "Humor is something that thrives between man's aspirations and his limitations. There is more logic in humor," he once said, "than in anything else, because, you see, humor is truth." Wise words from a very wise guy. Victor Borge will be forever famous for brilliantly combining three forms of the performing arts: piano playing, conducting, and the gift, it ain't easy, of being a comedian. Think of how difficult it is to be a comedian. Why would I say that? Because everybody's idea of what's funny is different. It's subjective. So imagine you're on the stage trying to make an audience laugh. You're never going to get all of them because not everybody is going to find what you're doing funny. It's a very difficult, fine art. How many of you think Victor Borge was Victor Borge's given name? It wasn't. You know what it was? Borge Rosenbaum. B-O-R-G-E. Borge Rosenbaum. Where was he born? Many of you might know, Denmark. And because of this, he was often called the Great Dane, the Unmelancholy Dane, and the Clown Prince of Denmark. He was born January 3rd, 1909, in Denmark's capital, which of course happens to be Copenhagen. His father was a violinist with the Royal Danish Symphony Orchestra, and his mother was a pianist. Do you think young Borge would be known as a bit of a child prodigy? Well, of course the answer happens to be yes, and here's proof. Get this. He started piano lessons when he was only 2 years of age. He gave his very first recital at only 8 years of age, and at only 9 years of age, he received a scholarship, get this, a scholarship to none other than the Royal Danish Academy of Music. I think that's kind of equivalent to such incredible schools here in this country, such as the Juilliard School of Music at age 9. Thank you very much. Yeah, you better believe he was a child prodigy. And if that isn't enough, get this, at only 17 years of age, he gave his very first major classical concert. During this time, Borge was known as a straight classical pianist, but of course, as we know now, that would soon change. He began to realize that combining humor while he was playing the piano was something few, if any, other artists happened to be doing at the time, and so he did it. And boy, did he do it beautifully. We're going to give you an example now of his piano artistry and comedic ability in this clip, which shows him playing a very famous piano duet with a poor other guy who has to do this with Victor. And it is a tune that if you don't know by name, you will certainly know by hearing it. It is the famous Hungarian Rhapsody. Here we go.
Where have I seen you? Oh, yes, the good one. Wait a minute. Half of this is mine, and okay. Do it this way. This is awkward. Middle pedal, yeah.
Wasn't that absolutely incredible? I would have loved to have been in the audience that day. Just incredible. Borge came to the States in 1933 when his first wife, who was American, by the name of Elsie Chilton wanted and suggested they both go to America in 1933. If you think Borge was well off when he caught his first glimpse of the Statue of Liberty, you probably should think again. He only had $20 in his pocket, 3 of which he had to use to pay a customs fee to enter this country. He only had $20 in his pocket. Now, not even, right? And there was also one more thing Victor didn't have when he first came to the States: a good working knowledge of the English language. So he would be helped with that, of course, by his wife. But he also learned to speak English fluently by going to hundreds of movies. Word of his amazing and unique talent would start to spread like wildfire, and it was none other than the great Rudy Vallee that asked the comedian to appear on his popular radio show. Fully knowing that Borge Rosenbaum was not the best name to have if you were going to be famous, of course, Borge would change his name to Victor Borge. Bing Crosby would ask Victor to appear on the famous Kraft Music Hall program, as Victor's star was now really beginning to rise and shine. After winning the Best New Radio Performer of 1942, Victor would appear with the one and only Frank Sinatra in a film by the name of Higher and Higher. Television would be next, and Victor would find himself starring in The Victor Borge Show on NBC starting in 1946. Borge would become known for many things when it came to his unique brand of comedy, such as, you probably know, telling a story with amazing punctuation marks, his sheet music flip while he was playing piano, and his amazing on-the-spot improvised audience interplay based on their reactions to his performing, and his wonderful routines with singers as well. In 1948, Victor became a U.S. citizen. A true landmark event in his career at the time was the astounding success that he had performing his one-man show on Broadway. Comedy and Music was the name of the show, and it ran for an amazing, record-breaking 849 sold-out, standing-room-only performances in New York City's Golden Theater on the Great White Way. Why do I say record-breaking? Because according to the Guinness Book of World Records, Victor's one-man show on Broadway became the longest-running one-man show in the history of the theater. Wow. Borge also played and conducted with many of this country's most famous symphony orchestras. And to balance out this amazing achievement, he would also appear on numerous episodes of Sesame Street and The Muppet Show, if that wasn't enough. And he was great at that. You can find those clips on YouTube as well. Victor would end up writing no less than 3 books. My Favorite Intermissions was one. The second was My Favorite Comedies in Music. And his third and final book was The Smile is the Shortest Distance. Best of all, people remember Victor for his hundreds of personal appearances, live appearances, because really that's what he loved to do best. And because he loved to do that best, he was the best at doing it. That live connection that he would have with his audience was something that he lived for, and he was brilliant at it. That's where he would shine, and To that end, get this, even up till his final days, he would perform up to 60 times a year on tour at 90 years of age. He was still touring like that at 90 years of age. Borge would marry twice. Altogether, he would have 5 children who would also end up performing with him live from time to time. We would lose this amazing talent, this amazing guy, on December 23rd, 2000, at 91 years of age. To me, Victor Borge was a legend of the best kind because he was a true, lovely human being who understood to the depths of his soul how important it was to make us laugh, because there is tremendous healing in laughter. And when you combine that with music and performing, you know what? It don't get any better than that. So we're going to close this presentation with a final clip of Mr. Borge doing what he loved doing best. But before we do, I just want to let you know, if you haven't already, do take a look at the other episodes of America's Greatest Personalities. There are many already on the station, and there will be many more to come every week. Not only that, but there are also 2 great, very popular trivia TV shows on Live Life Well TV, also every week. So there's a good backlog of them, and there are new ones every week going forward. One of those shows is called Did You Know? The other trivia show is called True or False. Check them out. It's a great exercise for brain, body, and spirit, actually. We also have a weekly show called Health and Wellness Tips. That's going to help you get through this and any period of time. And along those lines, there's a motivational, inspirational weekly show that you can find on the station called How to Be Okay When Things Aren't. But let's definitely be more okay with the final clip of Mr. Borge in action as part of this presentation. It is him conducting, I think it's the Boston Pops Orchestra, and a lot of it's improvised. So watch how these professional classical music musicians cannot keep a straight face no matter how hard they try. This has been Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host. Take a look at the one and only Victor Borge in action, and thank you for being with me today. Come back. Here we go.
What comes next?
Smetana.
I beg your pardon.
Smetana.
You don't feel well?
It's the dance of the comedians.
Oh, the dance of... that one. You can talk a little now. You all have that one. Oh, I didn't know that. Do we have a score? Please, can I have a score? If there is one. Thank you very much. Were you laughing at what happened or what is going to happen? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do we have a stick? Yeah. Dance of the Comedians by, you said it so well.
Smetana.
You said it better before. Oh, I dropped the last part of it. Okay, here we go. Smetana. May I please have a music stand? Yes, there should be a music stand here. I'll pay for it. Thank you very much. Thank you.